Hello once again and welcome to QTV News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Zambia. The headlines. Parliament has voted unanimously to approve the invocation of Article 31 by President Edgar Lungu, giving police sweeping powers. Local government minister Vincent Mwale says the reconstruction of City Market will cost $20 million. The news in detail. Parliament has unanimously voted to approve President Edgar Lungu's declaration of a state of threatened public emergency made on Wednesday, the 5th of July 2017, under Statutory Instrument Number 53 of 2017. This follows President Edgar Lungu's invocation of Article 31, the declaration of a state of threatened public emergency, which gives the police sweeping powers, will now be enforced for a period of 90 days. After a lengthy debate which lasted for about 4 hours, 85 members of parliament voted in favor of the motion, with none voting against it. Earlier, in winding up debate on the motion, Vice President Inonge Wina, who moved the motion, assured the nation that there is nothing to fear during the 90 days that Article 31 will be in force. Ms. Wina, however, said those on the wrong side of the law should be worried.
Madam Speaker, I'm aware also that the guilty are always afraid. And if you are on the wrong side of the law, then you should be worried. If you are innocent, then you are a true patriot. And you will continue enjoying peace and tranquility for which Zambia is known. Our country, Zambia, comes first. Madam Speaker, the President of this country wants to unite the people of Zambia. He wants to govern this country in peace and ensure that Zambia's socio-economic prosperity is enhanced.
And Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampiongo has assured the public that the law enforcers will not abuse the powers. Mr. Kampiongo says officers who will be found misusing the powers they have been given during the 90 days period will be brought to book.
And I stand here and say we are going to defeat them. They may be hiding a bit, but they know that we shall pounce on them. And I want to assure Honorable Mabumba that we are going to ensure that we protect. We know how much, I know the emotion that you are having after seeing so much money being spent, which money could go to other infrastructure. My assurance to you is that we are going to work together to make sure that our people's lives are not disturbed and people's lives are not lost in hospitals where power is very critical. I also want to assure my dear colleague who has been doing a very good job, Foreign Affairs, assure our people that our diplomats and our foreign investors domiciled in this country have got our protection and they've got nothing to worry about and nothing to fear, because we are going to be equal to the task. And please continue being the ambassador you have been in showing what Zambia has always been. What has been.
Meanwhile, Justice Minister Given Lubinda has also assured the citizenry that government will not allow the law enforcers to abuse human rights, but to ensure that they protect innocent people.
We have to ensure that we bring our laws up to the requirements of this age. The laws that we have are laws that were meant to fight criminals of the 19th century. Now, criminals have become extremely sophisticated. We therefore also require to make our laws become sophisticated. So we must curb these acts of terror. Madam, yes, indeed. We're a country where people can incite terror. We're a country where people can stand on an ante and denounce the presidency of the country. And yet, we still say we shall hide behind the veil of democracy. Democracy has its limits. So yes, let us come up with laws. And as a matter of fact, everything that we have done is in keeping with the law. There is nothing that we have done outside the law. Madam, I want to end on this note. As you may be aware, I have been in this house for quite a reasonable length of time. And I sat here listening to this debate, and I tried to recollect whether there was any debate that I listened to in the past where people were so unanimous on a matter, where people were filled with so much pain in their debate, pain and anguish. And yet,
the Civil Society Constitutional Agenda, CISCA, has appealed to President Edgar Lungu to revoke the statutory instrument proclaiming a state of threatened public emergency, which will be tabled in Parliament today. CISCA chairperson Bishop John Mambo has told journalists during a media briefing that there are other means and ways of dealing with the current political situation in the country. He says the nation should go back to the drawing board and strategize how these problems will be dealt with without injuring Zambians. Meanwhile, Bishop Mambo has charged that brown envelopes have incapacitated the church to a point where they are unable to help deal with the current situation in the country.
Our appeal is you cannot afford to be stubborn outside, having to have a round table meeting. And of course, we are saying, as a church, they will help. Appeal to all parties to attend that meeting. For us as CISCA, if President Lungu calls for a meeting 8 o'clock in the morning, we shall be there 5 o'clock waiting. So that in his face is told that we feel that some of the advisors are not helping. But my experience in my leadership role of many years, 18 years as overseer Zambia, 6 years as regional superintendent, when there's a confusion in the church caused by a pastor, you must know that that pastor is up to looting. Because he uses confusion to say, no. You know, muchechi muno muli mavuto. You must know you're in trouble. Well, as we go ahead banging our heads, confusing each other, we don't want to sit around and talk and spell out what has gone wrong with Zambia. Others are enriching themselves, except don't enjoy it. Because riches that were out of plunder and so forth, you end up having blood pressure.
Local Government Minister Vincent Mwale says government will spend about $20 million to reconstruct Lusaka City Market, which was gutted by fire last week. Mr. Mwale has clarified that the reconstruction of the market will take 12 months and not 6 weeks, as earlier stated. In a ministerial statement to Parliament today, Mr. Mwale says the modern market to be built will accommodate fivefold the number of marketeers the current market accommodates. He adds that the market will also have a bigger bus station and better facilities. Mr. Mwale says the plan of action for rebuilding a better market is already underway. He states that government has since identified other sites where traders will be relocated while the rebuilding of the city market is underway. Mr. Mwale says market spaces are currently being worked on by a combined team of engineers from the Defense Forces, and that the new sites will be ready for occupation in the next 6 weeks.
Appeal to the general public to remain calm, and investigations are still being conducted. Allow me, Madam Speaker, to commend the combined team of firefighters from Lusaka Fire Brigade and Zambia Air Force, Zambia Army, Zambia Police, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, and indeed the citizens of Zambia that collaborated well to ensure that fire was contained despite the challenges they had to face. Madam Speaker, the market remains sealed off to the general public. This entails that no trader is allowed to enter the market until investigations are complete. This also entails that traders who may require to enter the market and collect their goods in those stores that were not gutted by the inferno will only do so when the technicians working on the market are able to ensure their safety. This is purely being done to ensure the safety of the traders, though I wish to report that a combined team of technicians are working day and night to ensure traders have access to the market at the shortest possible time.
And Mr. Mwale says no trader is allowed to enter the city market until investigations are complete. He adds that traders who may require to enter the market and collect their goods from the stores which were not gutted by the inferno, will only do so when the technicians working on the market are able to ensure their safety.
Government is looking to build a modern market, a city market, that will accommodate fivefold the number of marketeers in the old market, with a bigger bus station and better facilities. The plan of action for rebuilding better market is already underway, and preliminary indications show that we may require up to $20 million for the new city market. The considered time frame for rebuilding this market is at least 12 months. Government is keen on ensuring that the market traders get back to running their businesses in the shortest possible time. Government has also identified other sites where traders can be located while rebuilding the city market is underway. The market spaces are currently being worked on by a combined team of engineers from the Defense Forces, and the new sites will be ready for occupation in the next 6 weeks. These sites identified are along Lumumba Road and Soweto Market.
National Planning and Development Minister Lucky Mulusa has revealed that he has finally written a memo to Cabinet requesting to undertake a feasibility study on the possibility of establishing a new capital city. Mr. Mulusa says Lusaka City was not well planned, making it difficult to accommodate the growing population. He says it is important that the country begins planning for the future. Mr. Mulusa says, as seen from congestion on the roads in Lusaka, it is important that the nation starts to plan well for a new capital city and plan in advance issues of roads and other infrastructure amenities.
What that means is that Lusaka by 2030 will probably double its population. And in 50 years' time, Lusaka's population will be equivalent to the entire population of Zambia. So you can imagine if all Zambians with all their vehicles congregated in Lusaka, what would happen? There will be mayhem. What is my ministry doing about it? My ministry has written to Cabinet for authority to undertake feasibility studies about the possibility of creating a new capital city, not for ourselves, but for the future generations. 100 years is a very, very short period of time. So you can imagine we leave Lusaka the way it is. In 100 years, what will happen?
President Edgar Lungu has been called upon to consider reducing the number of people sitting on the Committee of Ministers to rebuild the gutted Lusaka City Market. Patriots for Economic Progress President Enoch Tembo says the number of committee members, comprising 8 ministers, 9 permanent secretaries and other senior government officials, is too much for a committee to reconstruct a single market. Mr. Tembo says this is considering that these members will be receiving allowances which may prove to be a drain on public funds. Mr. Tembo is of the view that the market can be rebuilt by the office of the Vice President in partnership with the Lusaka City Council instead of having a huge number of people sitting as members of the committee receiving allowances for this undertaking. Vice President Inonge Wina says the public service has been robbed of a dedicated, loyal and hard-working man in late Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Administration John Moyo. Speaking when she led members of the public in paying last respects to the late Mr. Moyo at the Cathedral of the Child Jesus today, Ms. Wina urged public service workers to emulate the late Permanent Secretary in public service delivery. She says government has received the death of Mr. Moyo with great shock. She says that government has lost a committed and hardworking professional whose contribution to the transformation and restructuring agenda of the ministry is immeasurable. Ms. Wina adds that government has also lost an inspirational professional who has left a legacy in the public service.
Mr. Moyo is a gift of innovative thinking, a visionary spirit, and a delivery of patience that led to successful reorganization of the Ministry of Health. Mr. Moyo is a gift of innovative thinking. Government received the death of Mr. Moyo this Friday, when we had a petition in Parliament that is related to typhoid, cholera, and Ebola, I was informed that the Minister of Health and the other permanent secretary were not present. They were attending another meeting. I somewhat came into a state of panic, but luckily for me, Mr.
Secretary to the Cabinet, Dr. Roland Msiska, has described Mr. Moyo as an enthusiastic person who followed rules and procedures in the execution of services in the public service. He says Mr. Moyo exhibited perseverance, humility, and wisdom.
As Director of Resources and Administration, in November last year, Mr. Moyo was appointed as the first permanent Secretary of Administration in the Ministry of Health. During his service, he also served in various boards, technical committees, and also participated in the negotiations of the unions. Indeed, public service has lost a professional and assistant civil servant. I say a professional and assistant civil servant because without Moyo, not only understood that the public service has to have rules and procedures to function, but they also understood that the procedures and rules should not stop us from innovation. I remember many times you come and say, "Sir, we have a problem with the procedure, but we can still resolve this problem without breaking the procedure." This is how it should be. That's the way.
Mr. Moyo, 48, who died in an accident on the 7th of July, is survived by his wife Matilda and 3 children. Local Government Service Commission Chairperson Amos Musonda has warned that local government workers engaging in active politics will be retired in public interest. Mr. Musonda says only councillors who are elected officials are allowed to participate in active politics and not workers. He states that while local government workers have the right to vote, they are not allowed to participate in active politics. Mr. Musonda says the participation of local government workers is totally unacceptable.
All the staff across the country in local government have been advised that their board, which is constitutes of councillors, are the ones that are political in nature. They are voted for and elected by the people, and all the staff are therefore not allowed to engage themselves in partisan politics. They have the right to vote, it ends there. But as to engage in partisan politics when they are at their places of duty, that is totally unacceptable. And when we get wind of it and we confirm, we have no choice but to separate.
The Federation of Free Trade Unions of Zambia, FFTUZ, says there is no need to politicize plans by government to construct a new state house. FFTUZ President Chingati Msiska says it must be understood that the current state house is in a dilapidated state, hence the urgent need to construct a new one. Mr. Msiska says the world would laugh at Zambians if at all the current state house was to collapse on the sitting head of state when this can be avoided. He regrets that some stakeholders are seeing it as though the new state house will be a permanent residence for the incumbent president. He says the new state house, when constructed, will benefit all future presidents. Mr. Msiska states that it is for this reason that people should support the construction of the new state house.
I think it gave us a lot of course, confidence. It was one, we were looking at a project, that has been state house that has been there for so many years, and we have had a number of presidents passing through living in that place. And like has been stated by professionals, I think we want to agree. We are not looking at the money per se, though we are also interested in the $20 million that is going to be used. But all in all, what we are saying is it's long overdue. It has to be done because it's not for an individual. That is the house, that is the state property. It's for whoever comes into power. And to us as the labor movement, I think it's a sense of pride because we need to have a modern structure that is going to accommodate all the facilities that or the activities that are carried out. Because in the currently we have a situation where most of these activities are held or outsourced or held elsewhere. But it's high time that we had a state house where all these facilities, the modern facilities, are hosted within the premises. I think it's a position.
The Agricultural and Commercial Show Society of Zambia has partnered with Global Max Media of China to host the first ever China-Africa Agriculture Cooperation Summit aimed at strengthening the two countries' bilateral ties in the area of agricultural technology. Speaking during the signing ceremony of the Memorandum of Understanding today, Show Society President Ben Shoko says the partnership with Global Max Media will help farmers and businesses learn various technologies from China which they can use to enhance their farming and businesses. Mr. Shoko says Global Max will be given 3rd August as the day to conduct various lessons and showcase Chinese products and services at a pavilion which will be set up in the show grounds.
Actually finds us as the Agriculture and Commercial Society excited to bring them on board to provide that wider opportunities of our business communities to see what is available out there and what else they can ride on in improving, adding value to their products, and also the aspect of creating a wider market for their products. And therefore, as the Agriculture and Commercial Society of Zambia, we are just a conduit of facilitating linkages amongst the various businesses. And for this, we feel happy that we are linking up with our colleagues. We have also got a medium arrangement which actually facilitates dissemination of the various aspects of technologies which assist in business development. So I'm grateful that we are having this opportunity to actually bring them on board, and hope to see the benefit actually going, filtering down to the core businesses.
And Global Max Media Managing Director Miles Nunn said they chose Zambia and the Agricultural Commercial Show in particular because of the influence that the show has to the nation and the region as a whole. Mr. Nunn is hopeful that the summit will have positive effects and benefits to the farmers and various business communities, which will also result in strengthened bilateral ties between Zambia and China.
Apart from that, we're going to invite representatives from the Chinese government and the Chinese enterprises to the showgrounds to attend the agriculture show. We're also going to organize an agriculture summit.
Actually, this was not only from myself, from ourselves. It's actually from the both parts us. 那通过这个峰会呢，我们会更进一步的探讨中赞和中非同盟交流。
And through organizing this summit, we're gonna further explore how we can cooperate in agriculture sector between China, Zambia, and Africa as a whole.
这是首一届但是呢，它是个长期年度性。
And this is going to be the first and ever summit, but it will be we're going to host in the future.
中国呢幅员辽阔，赞比亚呢地大物博。
China has a vast territory and abundant resources.
And Zambia.
And Zambia as well.
而且我们双方呢有着非常相同的一个地理环境和自然条件。
And for both of us, we share similarity.
Southern Africa Cross-Border Traders Association Secretary General Jacob Makambwe has encouraged cross-border traders in the country to be tax compliant. Mr. Makambwe has noted with concern how most traders, especially women traders, who are the majority of cross-border traders, are avoiding paying tax. He says it is in view of this that the association is planning to hold awareness campaigns aimed at sensitizing the cross-border traders on the importance of paying the necessary tax. He has stated that paying tax and complying with the trading laws helps a cross-border trader to operate freely and using the right channels. And Mr. Makambwe has advised cross-border traders to consider insuring their businesses in case of a calamity that might lead to the loss of their goods. He has since called on insurance companies to offer packages that will entice cross-border traders to insure their businesses. Airtel Zambia has invested $50 million United States to rebuild the internet network platform designed to accelerate electronic commerce for micro, small and medium enterprises. Airtel Zambia Enterprise Director Muyunda Munyinda says the platform is meant to promote business and trade in the country while bringing efficiency and accuracy. Speaking during a media briefing, Mr. Munyinda says the platform is also designed to cater for the requirements of the business community in as far as commerce and trade is concerned, as well as reduce business traffic during transactions. And Mr. Munyinda has assured the business community that the company is ready to carry all the business-related traffic to support their online activities as the platform is designed for such. He has since encouraged the business community to take advantage of the development as it will bring efficiency and transparency while controlling the environment.
Networks, APNs and so on, those are products that are available now, typical ISP products that are all available. Now, on top of all this that we are talking about, we are making available a 24/7 network operating center. Again, this is intended to support the businesses out there, the connectivity solutions that we're talking about. We have a technical support team that is available again on call 24/7. And then we have a relationship management structure that supports these relationships, because the requirement, the telecommunications needs of these corporates is very, very different. You know, it depends on the nature of the business that they're engaged in. For example, in mining operation, we'll have significantly different kind of communication needs from an NGO, from a bank, from a financial institution.
To end QTV News, we take a look at the headlines. Members of Parliament have unanimously agreed to invoke Article 31, which was presented by President Edgar Lungu last week and will last for a period of 90 days. Local Government Minister Vincent Mwale says the reconstruction of City Market will cost $20 million. That's all we had. Join us for more news later. Bye-bye.